In this video, I spent 100 days in Naruto, after many requests. This mod is called Naruto C. It was made by the same people that made Dragon Block C, the Dragon Ball mod I played a while back. This mod isn't complete, it only covers up until the end of the Chunin exams, but it's really fun and easy to use, so I thought I'd give it a go. But tell me if you want me to play with a more complete Naruto mod in the future. Anyway, back on topic, in this mod you can either play as an Uchiha or a Hyuga, and you can also play clanless, but who on earth wants to do that, let's be honest. Anyway, you already know I went with being an Uchiha for that Sharingan, although to this day I have no clue what it does. But anyway, my goals for these 100 days will be to complete the story mode and fight all the bosses accordingly, including Naruto and even Shukaku. And you know, if I can do all that, let's toss in the Ender Dragon and a Wither as well. So yeah, with that all being said, I have a lot to do, so let's just get into day 1. On day 1, just like in the Dragon Block C mod, I had to start with some setup. I had the option of getting a new hairstyle, and since I have no creative skill at all, I scoured the mod creator's website for hairstyles people with actual talent made, trying to find an Itachi hairstyle. Because he's the ultimate Chad, best character in all of anime, don't at me. Well, I just started war in the comments, but moving on, next came my power type, and oh geez, I wonder which I'd prefer, the nature option with a starting damage of 3, or the chakra power type with a starting damage of 25. That's a real thinker, that one. So yeah, next came the clan choice, and as I said, Uchiha all the way. After that, I spent the rest of the day training for, well, training points to learn the Rasengan, and when night came, I tried it out on a bunch of mobs, and well, they didn't stand a chance. Also, when I went in third person, I realized that Naruto running was a thing. Kinda obvious that it would be if you think about it, but they didn't have to implement it, and you gotta pay respect to mod creators that add in the small things. Anyway, just like with the Dragon Block C mod, which as I said was made by the same people as this one, most of this mod is training. You punch and shoot and use whatever other abilities on mobs to level up training points, which you can then use to level up your abilities. So with that being said, I trained all the way till day 10 to get decently strong before attempting any sort of mission. During this time, I tried out my Sharingan, which as I said, I'm pretty clueless about the mechanics of, but still, it looks cool, even though it didn't fit my eyes, but that's okay. On day 11, I felt I was ready to start the story mode, and it was good that I trained up since the first mission was a fight, specifically against Mizuki. Now, like all sane people, I hate him with a burning passion, so I was glad to demolish him, which I did because of my pro Minecraft skills, nothing to do with the fact that I was overpowered from training at all, no, it was just all skill. Oh, and also, you may have noticed I tried out my Sharingan at the end of the fight. This was when I was still fruitlessly trying to figure out what it did, so yeah, maybe it helped me in some way, I don't know, but yeah, there's that. Later, I came upon this new biome. I had no mods installed besides the Naruto one, so I knew this had to be a biome from the mod, and I was right. I think it was the forest around the Leaf Village because I found a bunch of characters from Konoha in it. First, I found the third Hokage, and he told me to go talk to my clan head, so I went looking for him and found him buried under some dirt. No matter, I swiftly dug him out and talked to him, only to discover that he too wasn't of any use to me. He just told me about the Sharingan and about how it could help me copy my opponent's jutsu, which cool, but the jutsus in this mod are pretty cheap to learn for myself, so that was pretty useless. I left him to go look around some more and found the head of the Hyuga clan buried really deep in the ground. I rescued him and to repay me, he basically told me to get lost. And I'm no good Samaritan, I don't do things for free, so I just put him back where I found him. Come on, let's be honest, he had it coming to him. Anyways, on day 12, I checked out my missions, and apparently I had become a Genin. And as customary for Genin, I had to start off with some D-rank missions. My first was to kill 6 ocelots. The quest literally justified this by saying I needed to capture them by defeating them. That's amazing, man. But anyway, I really had no choice in the matter, so I spawned them in and pretty quickly finished the mission. I mean, their speed and size made aiming on them a little challenging, but it was easy enough to do in a minute or two. My next mission was to get 48 seeds. I guess someone wanted to start a garden, but was too lazy to get a couple seeds, so they hired a trashy D-rank ninja like me to do it instead. My next missions better be worth all this, but spoiler alert, they weren't. My next one was to get some flowers. The poppies and dandelions were easy enough, but blue orchids only grew in swamps, so it took me like a day to find that, but on day 13 when I did, there were only 3 orchids in sight, and I needed 4. But not to fear, my high IQ brain remembered that bone meal was a thing, and with that, I'd completed the flower mission. A sentence I never thought I'd say, and one I definitely wouldn't think I would say with such conviction. But I'm pretty happy with myself after that one. Anyway, next the real missions were coming up, so I thought it would be smart to train, and so I did until day 18. And so on day 19, I thought I was ready for my first big fight, Zabuza and Haku. This was Zabuza when he was holding back though, so he wasn't full power. So I was able to defeat them pretty easily, all things considered. So I thought I was ready for the next fight, which was against full power Zabuza. So I got a Chidori ready, just in case, and started the fight. I hit him, which did a ton of damage, so I tried my best to rush in before he could shoot too much more, because if he did, I would have been dead for sure. And because of my leveled up melee damage, I was able to do just that and defeated him pretty quickly. He dropped his sword, which just looks amazing, and did a lot of damage to boot, so that definitely made the fight worth it. I then trained some more all the way till day 29 because I really didn't want to have to train in between my next fights. So with that being said, on day 30, it was time for the tuning exams. My first mission was to fight basically Orochimaru. I activated my Sharingan again, just in blind faith I would actually do something, then tried to go in close range, but he had a lot of range moves that kept me back. I persevered though, and again my melee strength was too much for him to handle. After that I was on to the 1v1 portion of the tuning exams, and so I had to fight Tamari. I charged up my Chidori and started the fight. I hit her with it, then switched to my sword. She too tried her best to keep me back with some ranged attacks, but I kept swinging, and again it didn't take long for me to defeat her. These first fights were relatively easy, but my next fight was against Naruto, so things were really starting to heat up. I summoned in a bunch of shadow clones cause, I thought I'd pay tribute to my man while fighting him. It's only fair. And so after spawning in a couple, I started the fight. They rushed in for Naruto straight away, and I kinda just backed up, letting them do their thing, but Naruto was having none of it. He's an expert on this jutsu, so he knew straight away that I was the real one, and so only focused his attacks on me. He spammed ranged attacks on me, so I kept on summoning more and more shadow clones, but it got to the point where his attacks were so strong that they were getting caught in the crossfire while aiming at me. And this kept repeating. I would summon in new clones, and then he would use a huge attack and kill a bunch. Eventually I got sick of that and killed the clones myself because they were pretty much only getting in my way. And then I went for Naruto. He launched me into the air right away, but I was really strong at this point, so fall damage didn't really matter to me anymore. And after that, I quickly finished him off with my sword. That was a relatively close fight though. He did do some decent damage to me, definitely my best fight yet. Next on day 31 though, I had to fight Ninetales Chakra Naruto, and this was obviously gonna be a lot harder, so I got my Chidori ready and braced myself. I began the fight and just went in. I used my Chidori, then switched to my sword. I didn't even give him a chance to back up and use range attacks, and even then, the close range ones he was able to use still did a bunch of damage, so he definitely could have killed me if I wasn't constantly attacking him. But in the end, my caution paid off and I defeated him. My next fight though was against Gaara, and I don't know if you remember how this man was like in part 1, but yeah, he was pretty cracked, let's just say. So I was yet again very cautious going into this, but I was also very nervous, which is why I forgot to charge up a Chidori beforehand. So I only used my sword during this one, but that's okay because I was able to corner him really quickly. And good thing I did, because in just a few seconds he took away half of my health. So if I didn't corner him and gave him some space, he would have killed me for sure. Well, that was way too close for comfort, so when I saw that my next fight was against Shukaku, yes, the Tail Beast, aka the ultimate weapon of the Sand Village, I knew I needed a lot of firepower for this one. So I trained all the way till day 50, not just to level up my stats, but also to level up my 8 gates, all the way to the max, yeah, that's right. On day 51, I charged up my gates all the way to level 8, the Gate of Death, and summoned in Shukaku. And my man did not even stand close to a chance. Like, look at this. But surprisingly, that whole Gate of Death thing didn't kill me, so I guess I was just really OP permanently now, or at least until I ran out of stamina, which was nice. So I thought I'd try my power out on Minecraft's vanilla bosses, and so I spent day 52 to 62 farming blazes and endermen for pearls. I won't show it because that's boring as hell, and same with the process of finding the portal room. But once I did all of that, I was able to jump in. I made my way over to the main island, and the dragon tried to rush me straight away, but luckily it didn't hit me off, which I think was pretty much the only way I could have died during that fight. I then followed normal dragon fight procedure by destroying the crystals, but what wasn't normal was my method, which was to just jump up to them and destroy them by hand. But after I destroyed a couple, the dragon charged at me again, and so I decided to try something out. I wondered if I could kill it in one punch, and apparently I could. Alright then, note to self, 8 gates is absolutely nuts, who would have guessed? Anyways, next, of course, was the Wither, and so I spent days 63 to 78 farming for Wither Skulls. You know me, unless of course you're new, in which case, welcome. But for those of you who aren't, you know I usually can't be asked to get myself a looting sword before doing this. Probably stupid of me, but yeah, if I pop in a podcast while farming, it usually breezes by. Anyway, enough of that, let's get to the fight. So on day 79, I spawned in along with some shadow clones, to spice things up a bit, but turns out they're weak as hell and died right away. So the Wither left me no choice but to go in with a Chidori, and shocker, that was enough to kill it in one hit. Well, that was definitely an experience. This mod is really fun, but too bad it probably won't be finished. Hasn't had an update in years, I'm pretty sure, but still, worth giving a shot if you like early Naruto. Tell me if you want me to use another Naruto mod for another 100 days video in the future. But with that being said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.